All right, looks like I'm live. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. I hope everybody's doing well and having a good week so far. Give me just one second. All right, there we go. All right. Well, it's good to be here with you all. If you could all do me a favor, please hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Um, I had a really fun time last week with Susan Lynn and Mel on Thursday night. That was a lot of fun. We'll have to plan that again here soon. I've got a lot of good feedback from that. Um, I think for this week, my only planned show, I should be on Mel's channel Thursday night, and we'll be doing more political readings. So if I don't get to your questions today, please come on Thursday night on Mel's channel. As far as I know, that we should be doing that. And also, I want to say thank you for Cash Peters. He gave me a bit of a shout out. So, with these last collabs that I've been having, getting close to 9,000 subscribers. So once I hit that 9,000 goal, I will be giving away a free reading and a free Reiki session. So I'm looking forward to celebrating that here, hopefully shortly with everyone. I think I'm a little over 200 away from that goal. So looking forward to that. I do have some openings next week if anybody's interested in a reading or a Reiki session, or I do have a bit of a combo between the both of them. You can email me at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com to inquire or to set something up. I have that all in the description box of the video. I want your input on something as well. After I'm done with this video and it uploads, let me know if you would be interested in, rather than doing like a weekly live solo show every week, if you'd be interested in some pre-recorded videos and kind of going back and forth with that. I think that it would be good. It might help focus, the energy of the questions, so they'd probably be shorter. Some people seem to prefer that. I really enjoy doing the live and having all of the interaction between the chat. So I kind of enjoy this, but just give me your feedback. You can write it in the comment section of this video after I'm finished up. So let me start some questions real quick. I did put the slow mode on for 15 minutes today. I know it's a little annoying, but it's only me on, so I'm trying to, obviously I enjoy the feedback and, everybody's saying hello to everyone. I enjoy that. It's just a little bit easier for me to keep up with the chat because I was getting a little bit behind. Oh, thank you, Ness. Behind the French doors is my Reiki studio. So I thought the lighting was a little dull. We have thunderstorms coming in. I'm in a basement, so it's not the best lighting. But yeah, I thought it was nice to try to mess with the lighting a little bit. All right. Yes, last week was a lot of fun. Thank you, Ness. All right. So, and also too, if you have any political or current event questions today, go ahead and write them in the chat, all caps, a couple heart emojis. Like I said, I'll get to as many questions as possible today in about an hour's time. And if I miss your question, I should be on Mel's channel Thursdays. So, I think Friday he leaves for Linda G's event with Kevin Lewis. So, yes, I planned on reading on the impeachment, Debo. I did get a hit. I was watching the news this morning with that prisoner that escaped in Pennsylvania. They were doing a bit of a press conference, but I do feel like they have him trapped in because I was getting like the message that he's cornered and that they're moving in. I wanted to post it because I do feel like he will be caught here relatively soon. I did hear some gunshots as well when I was tapping into the energy, although I guess there was a bit of a commotion between him and the person he stole a gun from. Um, but I don't have a very good feeling about, whether it's a shoot off with police or if he decides to take things into his own hands. I don't have the best feeling of him actually like going back to prison, is what I was kind of feeling, because he's feeling very, very desperate, very dangerous as well. Um, Originally, when this had happened and I heard about it, I asked my guides how long it would take before he was caught, and I was feeling about 2 weeks, and I think it's 13 days, so we're getting pretty close to that, I believe. So I just wanted to share that hit. I did post it on my community tab. A lot of people seem to like both, but they like the live chats as well. So, and maybe it's something I'll play with too. Just ask for questions, and I feel a lot more comfortable doing the lives. I've noticed in the past when I've done pre-recorded, I get I don't know how to edit video, so I feel like I'm not happy with it, and I have to do multiple videos, and then it doesn't feel like an organic process with the information coming through. So, okay, that's a good question. I did see McCarthy's press conference today, and not surprised that that he's pushing for impeachment inquiry. Although I think he knows he doesn't have the votes for it, so I think that kind of questions what kind of power that they would have, like retaining like tax documents and stuff like that they want to do for their investigation. I do feel like there's a big question mark around it, and I actually feel like the MAGA Republicans aren't really happy with all that he's done and kind of put out there. They want to actually start impeachment, and then you have you know the more moderate Republicans, a couple of them that are no votes on the impeachment inquiry. There's nothing there. So I do think it will be interesting, and I do want to throw some cards on that. Let me pull this up. Do you see happening now that McCarthy said that they were going ahead with the impeachment inquiry? Let's throw some cards on it. Just getting a couple more questions stirred up. I don't know. Mimi Rose asked if I lost weight. I'm not sure, but thank you. Thank you for the compliment. And I do, like I said, I do feel like I feel like the MAGAs are going to oust Kevin McCarthy at some point. Maybe it's from this, maybe it's towards the end of this year or beginning of next year. But I don't see him as Speaker of the House before the next election. So, all right. So, and I do pick up that McCarthy was scared when he was giving that press conference. It's like he was walking on eggshells. Is the vibe I kind of get with that. So. Oh, thank you, Sharp Lisa. Ooh, I had McCarthy come up in this. Yeah, this is going to backfire on them. Yeah, and it's kind of like the direction that they're heading in is a losing battle. I have the world, so the world's watching this. Also, too, it feels like coming full circle after being beginning of a new. We have Kevin McCarthy here feeling very conflicted. He doesn't know really what to do. feeling a bit stuck. So, do we go ahead with the impeachment, or can we possibly hurt some of our members in swing districts? Um, but the decision he's going is a losing one, and there's a lot of negative judgment coming up against him. I do not see the impeachment being very popular with the public. Um, and and to be honest, it wouldn't. Biden wouldn't get removed because there's no way it would even go on the Senate floor. But I almost feel like if they voted on impeachment in the House, I don't even think that they would have enough votes to move it to the Senate. Um, I do get that they're kind of. I've said all along, I feel like they're going to move forward on this. Um, but, the hermit, so there's a bit of like isolation or, um, people seeing like the illumination of the GOP's plan here. I don't see it ultimately ending in a conviction or even moving to the Senate. So I don't want anybody to really worry. It's the Republicans kind of grifting and taking orders from Trump. So thank you, artists. So it kind of feels like it's not really going a whole lot anywhere. Yes, I agree. Debsy says McCarthy gave his balls to get elected as speaker. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's really limited on what he can do. And he's really trying to walk very carefully. He's kind of playing both sides of the fence between the crazy MAGAs and the more moderate Republicans in swing districts, and I see him being cautious is really going to upset some of the MAGAs. I think Matt Gaetz and MTG are already fighting over it. So yeah, Schumer would not put this on the floor, so I don't want anybody to worry. All right, Starhawk. I've said, I think since I started my channel, I got a major download of information, and yeah, I do see that the Republican Party imploding and splitting apart. I think I say that every show. So, yeah, and it's already starting. You're going to see, the MAGAs really start to get crazy, and kind of Trump is taking them all down with him. And as we get more of the January 6th stuff out, that being really damning for the Republican Party, and the Republicans really struggling and knowing that with Trump as their leader, that they can't win elections. I mean, how many election cycles have they already lost? So you're going to really see them kind of turn on each other, and it's going to take them. I think with the bad reputation that they get from January 6th for taking dark foreign money, their corruption and how crazy they are getting and how extreme they're getting, it's going to take them a while to kind of wipe that smear, that bad reputation that they've earned. So yes, I do see the Republican Party imploding. I haven't gotten any hits on who will replace McCarthy specifically, but I do feel like it's more middle of the road, because I do feel before the next election, some bipartisanship and actually being able to get some things done. So if I get a hit, I will share, but I'm not really sure who will replace McCarthy at this point. Oh, interesting. And Casey says, if Red Matt Gaetz is trying to book up Democratic votes to remove McCarthy. Yeah. All right. I do also, with the hurricane coming in, a lot of people, I think, are worried about that. I think I had said, I do feel like there is a little bit of like the outer ring of it hitting into some of the northeast states, like Maine, that area. I do see a lot of wind in the northeast, even areas that don't get hit. But I do feel like by the time it actually makes it up there, it's either a tropical storm or like a category one. Not to say that there isn't damage associated with it, um, but I'm not picking up like Armageddon, um, like crazy devastation with it either. So we'll kind of see in the next few days where it's headed. I do feel like parts of the Northeast will be affected, but it does feel a little bit more minor. Obviously, if there's evacuation orders or anything like that, take those seriously. Um, but I do feel like some parts of the Northeast being affected by the Hurricane Lee. I do feel like there's maybe another one or two that's kind of brewing right now as we speak, though, that will affect the U.S. All right. I did see that Trump was flicked off at a football game in Iowa. It's hilarious. I don't think Trump was very happy. I think his ego was hurt a little bit. That's a good question. Hi, Marby. Yeah, there's multiple steps in with the impeachment process. Yeah, so it's going to take some time. Yes, with McCarthy, you can see the puppet strings. All right. No, Leah, I don't have a members only at this time, a membership. I did in the past, and um, I've considered, maybe here soon, maybe I'll restart the members. Ended up being a lot when I was taking care of my niece. So, um, but no, you can, if you have a question, you can go ahead and write it in the chat. I do feel, I've said it before, I do feel a hurricane on the Atlantic side affecting Florida. Yes, Patty G. It even feels like maybe more into the Carolinas too. Um, yeah, and I do feel like there will be some flooding. I'm feeling more wind damage than anything else, Sacred Hag. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, be cautious with it. And these hurricanes are very unpredictable anyway. So, my insights for entertainment purposes only. So, obviously, follow your own gut and intuition. All right. Yeah, I don't see it making it out of the house, Cece. All right. Well, we have almost 400 people watching. Thank you so much. Please hit the thumbs up. It really helps you guys, and I really appreciate it. I said I do feel like there is another storm affecting the Atlantic side and affecting Florida. Cool Ant. I'm not saying Lee is that, um, but we still have a couple more months of hurricane season. So, all right, you guys. Jane wanted to know about China's economy, with it being in big trouble. How badly will it affect the U.S. and the rest of the world? I do feel like it is going to take China a couple years to. It feels like financially they are in a bit of a bad state. It doesn't feel like it's a major effect into um, the U.S. or the rest of the world, Jane. I'll throw a couple cards on it. I feel like it might affect some of like the supply, unlike we've seen in the past. But I do see it being more of a push of bringing more manufacturing jobs here, and we've already started to see that, and I think we're going to continue to see it. So I'm getting like the effects would be minor. Um, okay, there is maybe a little bit of restriction, but I don't feel like it's huge. There's some restriction to the world, but I feel like it's just it makes us come together and make new deals. Because I do feel like we're kind of moving away from our dependency on China. Um, Obviously, I mean, I think we owe China quite a bit of money, but I do kind of see like a bit of a shift from China, and even our relationship. It feels like it's a bit tough for a while, but I'm not picking up like the tower or it really affecting our financial markets a whole lot. So I hope that answers your question, Jane. Yeah, I know that they have very high unemployment right now. George Santos make a play deal and step down. Well, I told you I feel like he's going to have to step down or he'll be removed. And I think I've said too. I always get like he's the first one to go. So I don't know about making a deal though. It feels like he's kind of fighting, but he's fighting multiple things. Does anybody know when his next court date is? Because I feel like there's movement with him having to leave here soon. He's out in the court he lot. Yeah, I don't know about making a deal. I do feel like he's trying to delay things. We're kind of at a crossroads right now, but we're getting close to more action coming in. Um, I get, this is a card of loss, and I mean, it could be in jail, but I do see that for him eventually. He's got heartbreak coming in, so really bad news. It's like he's trying to plan his future, but he's not able to. I don't feel making a deal, but I do think he'll have to step down. And I think sooner rather than later, although timing's always always a bit hard. Kimberly, I already talked about the escaped convict, and I did share my hit on my community page if you want to check that out. Thank you, Heather. All right. Put the slow mode on. I'm still having a bit of a hard time. Sorry, you guys. All right. And Jane also wants to know how safe our money is. She's read of closing down banks, branches all over the place. Will we be okay? Well, I've said, I do feel like there's some struggles, kind of as we still have COVID going on, but we're not in such like a pandemic state anymore. But I've said all along, a lot of other readers have said that they see us going into recession and stuff like that. I haven't seen that. I actually feel like there's some growth starting in the fall time, and next year feels a lot better. Um, and I think that they've just said that the risk for a recession is like 10 or 15%. So it's where they were all kind of screaming fire, fire. They're saying that the risk isn't as high as what they thought. I do feel like the money's going to be okay. It feels like there's, a bit of fluctuation, like ups and downs. where more of that concern is, but I don't feel like a banking collapse or crash or anything like that. I feel like it's going to all be okay. All right. Yeah, and we're giving the Ace of Pentacles, which is more money kind of being handed out, or new money. Yeah, and Page of Pentacles. So it feels like things are good. I am getting the message, to hold on to your money a little bit. I don't think now's a great time for a lot of investments or a whole lot of spending, because, like I said, there's a bit of up and down. But Nine of Wands. So this is like, we've kind of been through the ringer, but we're continuing to persevere through it. But I feel like good financial opportunities coming in for us in the next year. So to me, it feels like it's getting a bit better. Not to say that we won't have a setback or two, but all right. I've often felt like he's got some health challenges, Dubsy. Says, will 45 be able to make it through all of his court cases, or will his health have other ideas? Sorry if you're hearing barking. My dogs are going crazy upstairs. So I do feel like definitely health challenges middle of next year. So all right. Cece says, will Ken Paxton's Senate trial open the eyes of some of the Texas MAGA Republicans after all the evidence is presented? Give me just 1 second, you guys. Sorry. I'll be right back. Never mind, they stopped. So I was going to go yell at the dogs. Yes, I do feel like I've said before, I feel this whole scandal bringing down other people and the Republican leadership and in Texas as well. The dogs are singing, yes. The dogs don't like Paxton either, right? Let's take a look. Do you know when they are planning on voting to remove him? I know that they have been doing this for about a week now. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I do have definitely more information being revealed. Also, like the spy in the camp, there's an element of being defeated and backstabbed, betrayed. Multiple people. Like I said, the Three of Pentacles is collaboration and group work, but also if you see like the Three Pentacles, it could be like him taking down those three people. And jail here too. Four of Swords can be a card of imprisonment or being restricted. I think absolutely. I don't know about the impeachment, but I do definitely feel jail time and more investigations into him. Yeah, there's a lot of endings here. Loss. Deals he's made. Yeah, it's like it's the ending of his career, and like I said, I do definitely pick up jail time, so maybe he is impeached. But it feels like there's something that maybe delays things. Like I said, I don't know how quickly this whole thing's supposed to go, or the motions of how to impeach somebody in like a state legislator. But yeah, there's definitely loss, more laws, financial restrictions too, and for those he's made deals with. So I do feel like it is a huge scandal that will be opening some eyes. I don't know about MAGA Republicans, but I think more independents or maybe even some moderate Republicans. TC says they may vote next week. Thank you. Yeah, and I definitely feel like there's a lot of big, damning information coming out. Hey, Deanne, Shield Maiden. Hey, my friend. Me and Deanne are going to have to do a show here together soon. I always enjoy our shows together. All right. Yeah, I did hear about a dam breaking in Libya and that big earthquake in Morocco too. I told you guys September feels a bit heavy with earth activity and storms. I do feel quite a bit of destruction. I mean, I think we're definitely in a cycle um, of earth activity, and I see that continuing for a while. Sacred Hag, it's unfortunate, but I do feel like it is part of like a cleansing and kind of removing the old and what no longer serves us, um, and kind of coming into balance as we're ascending too. So yeah, it feels like it's going to happen for a while still. It's something that we have to adjust to, unfortunately. All right. Cindy says, I know the Republicans have nothing on the Bidens, but how are they feeling about the impeachment stuff? Well, I don't feel like they're particularly happy, but I mean, I think that Biden's prepared for it. Like he hasn't really necessarily done anything, and anything questionable with his son. His son's not in office, so I did hear that Biden was getting lawyers and stuff in the works just to, be proactive with this craziness coming out of the Republican Party. But I don't get that he's worried. I feel like he's very confident, and but obviously it's a bit of a headache to deal with in the meantime. Linda, that's fine if you don't know how to do hearts. Just send your questions in all caps. The hearts or any kind of emoji just kind of help it stand out. Oh, hi, Sun Psychic Jean. Nice to see you. Hope everything's doing well with you. All right. Ness wants to know about fire season in California. Yeah, I do feel like in California, I'm picking up more of like central northern California. I do feel fires. I'm not sure when California's fire season starts, or I'm sure it's already started. But yeah, I do see some problems there, and even kind of going in more east. Some areas of Colorado, Utah, all of that. Yeah, I see some challenges there, unfortunately. Oh, you're in central northern California. Oh, sorry, Ness. Yeah, unfortunately, I see this being a problem for a while. It's just the earth is too hot, you know, and that's also kind of fueling a lot of these big storms and um, fires and droughts in some areas too. So Oh, I want to take a look at this. J.O. says, thank you for all that you give in your time and talents for everyone. Thank you. What are your impressions on the upcoming UAW Big Three auto negotiations on new contracts that expire at midnight 9/14/23? I'm assuming that has to do with like the autos worker strike. I do feel like there is possibly like a short strike with it, because it feels like there's more time needed for negotiations with what they want. Is what I was feeling. But I'll throw some cards on it. It doesn't feel like it's a huge long process, but I do kind of understand if, obviously if there's a strike, I mean, that just raises car prices that are already crazy. Yeah, I get that it's negotiations. There's a bit of a feeling at a crossroads. Yeah, I do feel like there's a bit of negotiations for a while, but then things kind of get better and come full circle. You have the people in charge, these emperors, that just kind of want to hold on to their money. That's all they really care about. And I do feel like with the negotiations, they're being, they're really trying to hold on to their power, onto the money. But there's some give and take here, which is good. And it does feel like Five of Wands, things are kind of blocked. There's some fighting and back and forth, and it does take them a while to kind of get on the same page. But the Wheel of Fortune coming in, it's like a changing of a cycle. The luck kind of coming around for these workers. So I do feel like ultimately it's good for what they're trying to negotiate. But I do see a bit of issue there for a little while. Yeah, I want to take a look at that too. All right, let's take a look at the budget. Before I felt like they would get it done right up to the line, kind of similar to the debt ceiling. But I do feel like there was a bit of a shift. I started feeling about a month and a half ago with these crazy Freedom Caucus. They don't care. They would shut the government down. But like I said before, you mess with people and their money. It's not a very popular decision. So it's kind of like these Republicans with all these moves, the impeachment, messing with the budget, all of that. It's kind of like they're just digging their grave deeper and deeper and deeper. Is kind of what I'm seeing with that. Will it be? I do see it being passed, but I do feel like there might be a shutdown for a week or two. Yeah, I think that there's a short shutdown, you guys. No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be good though. A lot of bad judgment coming out. Okay, it's very short lived, you guys. You have these crazy people just wanting to holding on to the power, doing everything for Trump. A turning point, but they do cause a bit of roadblocks here. They want to focus on other things, but there's a bad judgment happening for these Republicans that want to shut down the government. They have ulterior motives here. Trying to distract, trying to deceive people. But then there's like an offer that comes in, and then the funding. So I'm going to say that I feel like it's a short shutdown, maybe a week or two, but it's not going to be received well. Oh, I agree with you. I feel like if they're going to, shut down the government, or I don't think that they should get paid. I don't see this being a problem for much longer. I do feel like when Democrats retake the House and keep the House presidency and Senate in 2024, 2025, a lot of these things that have to be voted on, I feel like they may actually even change the rules so that the opposite party can't hold the finances hostage. So I definitely see a lot of rules being changed with this. But yeah, I do see it. It will bite them in the ass, absolutely. I read on this last Tuesday, Dubsy, and I did feel like some energy towards the end of this month or October. It doesn't feel like it's too far out there, but I did feel like Tuberville would be reined in. And I do feel Mitch McConnell kind of really kind of standing up, because it is becoming more and more of a threat. So. Will the GOP and Wisconsin legislator be successful in impeaching, removing the liberal candidate voted in by Wisconsin voters? Ultimately, I feel no, and I've said that before, but let's throw some cards on that. The judge's name is Janice, I believe. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, and even if they're successful in kind of halting her or making her uneligible to partake in some of the hearings and stuff like that, I do feel that Wisconsin, it's going to backfire and piss people off. But I also do feel like the maps end up changing, where they're more fair. And I see them. I think that they have an abortion ban, or it's severely restricted, and I feel like that being overturned. So, if they can halt her for a short while, I don't see it being successful in the long run of things. Janet. Okay. Oh, I love these cards. Oh, and they're all major arcana too. She's a strong lady. I don't feel like she's one that you want to mess with. I do feel like they're successful in delaying things for a short while. But then you have the wheel, so it's kind of like that turning point. The wheel, and it's like a new beginning with the world, and the world watching them. you have the star, so it's like a bright, positive new future and justice coming in. So it feels very, very good. But there is a bit of a short delay, I think, with getting her in there. But I don't see them being successful. It's like maybe they're able to work around the Republicans trying to impeach her, which I think they have to be careful with. I think they would bring up the impeachment and then not bring it on the Senate floor, because the governor could just appoint somebody. So it seems like they're able to kind of run around the whole plan there. All right. Linda J says Minnesota is trying to the 14th Amendment to remove Trump from the ballot. How will that go? I've read on this before. I know Colorado's doing it too, and that there'll be some other states that try. For whatever reason, and maybe it's because it's appealed and goes up to the Supreme Court, I didn't feel like the 14th Amendment would be what takes Trump down. I felt like it's either the health or the legal challenges that he's facing. Because to me, it feels like he may get the nomination, and then but I don't see him the actual candidate come November 2024, if that makes sense. So it's like Republicans freaking out and trying to throw somebody in there to take his place, because either it's a major health episode or charges from one of these court cases. But I don't feel the 14th Amendment being what actually takes him down, unfortunately. No, Trump will not be successful in removing Judge Chutkan. No. And really, I think that's up to her to decide whether she's going to step down. So she's not. I don't see that at all. I do see a new judge in Florida. I feel a male coming in eventually. But no, he won't be successful in removing Judge Chutkan. I don't see that at all. Well, I would agree with Linda G's prediction. I don't see that really going anywhere, Daryl. I said the same thing earlier. So. Yeah, I know a lot of you were excited for January 2025, but all this craziness is happening for a reason, and it is waking people up. It's kind of like the hardest times we deal with are those that we can learn the most from, and clearly there's a lot of lessons to be learned for a lot of people. So I mean, don't get complacent, but where the energy sits now, I do feel Democrats doing well in the November elections next year. No, I don't see DeSantis succeeding in the election. No, I don't see that at all, Patty G. All right. I do see some issues with Elon Musk. Joel was asking if he gets kicked out of Tesla. It does feel like that eventually. I mean, I don't feel indicted or jail time for Elon Musk, but it's almost like sanctioned, or his money being sanctioned, or having to pay out a bunch of money and losing a lot of his businesses. So I do feel eventually, yes, I don't see him in charge of Tesla, and it feels like Tesla ends up I do see Tesla continuing without Elon Musk, and it's heading in a much better direction in the future. Yeah, they kicked off the board. Absolutely. Terry wants to know how Jimmy and Rosalind Carter are doing. Last week, Jimmy Carter did come up last week, so I do think we're getting closer to, to that transitional stage. I don't know exactly when. I do feel like it probably will be this year. And I feel like Jimmy goes first, but I do feel Rosalind crossing not too far after him. Maybe 6 months, a year, but them kind of crossing closely together. I feel like they're doing well. Their family is really around them, giving them a lot of love and support. And I don't pick up any fear or anything like that. Um, I feel like they're very grateful of the life that they've lived and all that they were able to do to give back to other people. Like their legacy, they're very proud of. So they feel like they're doing good. I mean, the transition's coming sooner rather than later, but um, yeah, they've done a lot of really good work, and that's what they're most proud of. Their legacy and all that they could do to give back to people. Mm. Is Merrick Garland shocked that Trump's leading in the polls? I keep telling you guys, these polls are not correct. I mean, look at 2022, that election. It was supposed to be a red wave, and Republicans were supposed to take 50, 60 House seats, and Democrats were going to get obliterated. So, I mean, we can't trust the polls. I think a lot of them are skewed to one side and being paid for by a certain political party. So, and we're still a year and a half away. Well, over a year away. So, I don't really see Merrick Garland even focused on the polls, to be completely honest. CC. Yeah, ignore the polls. Well, as Linda G would say, a nothing burger, Hannah. I don't see anything. I see it backfiring against Republicans. Therese wants to know, will Michael Flynn ever lose his military benefits or go to jail? I feel yes to both. Yes to both. I've said that for a while. I feel like Michael Flynn and his brother getting jail time. And I do feel like losing his military benefits too. All right, you guys. Probably only do another question or two. Kathy wants to know, why do the Gen Z kids not want to share any political views? Hard to gauge voting preference. No capacity to debate or and creates credibility. Are those silent kids red or blue? Well, and I think that that's what it is too. I think that a lot of the younger generation maybe don't identify with either party. They're a little bit more independent, although socially they're very much democratic. And even on like climate change and gun reform, allowing you know women to control their own body, they're definitely blue. Um, I do feel like some of them though, um, you know, maybe are a little bit more financially conservative, But I don't know. I don't know if they like being labeled, is kind of what I'm picking up, Kathy. They're kind of open to both, but right now one side's just too crazy. So I see a vast majority of young people being more blue. So hopefully that answers your question. Oh, that's interesting. I did read on it last week. I did feel like there's obviously negotiations between Putin and Kim Jong Un. Um, Putin offering some kind of resources for North Korea and wanting um, like ammunition and weapons, trying to make some kind of deal. And I do feel like there is some success with that, unfortunately, but I don't see it really. I keep on seeing Ukraine, and I feel like they've continued to with their offense, but even with this, with them working together, I feel like if anything, it just brings in additional resources and support for Ukraine. So I see Ukraine continuing to persevere and continuing with their offense, is what I'm getting. But yeah, Putin and Kim Jong Un, they're definitely trying to make deals, and I do feel like there will be some weapons deals there. Yeah, Putin's down to his last friend, Kim. Yeah, he's getting a bit desperate, isn't he? Yes, I do feel Roger Stone going back to jail as well, Lisa. Absolutely. I don't know if it's this month. It could be at the end of this month or beginning of next month. I do feel Jack Smith. There will be more indictments with January 6th stuff. Um, to me, it doesn't feel like Congress people, or maybe there's one of them included with this indictment. They're coming a little bit later, but those really um, crucial in planning the January 6th stuff, getting in trouble here very soon. Lisa wants to know, when's the corruption? Wow, is the corruption going to stop? It's going to get crazy. I keep telling you. There's a lot that needs to be exposed. So, buckle up your seatbelt, get the popcorn ready. It's going to be a bit of a show. If you feel like everything is really affecting you really negatively, take a break from the news. Go outside and breathe. Try not to focus all of your energy and time into the news if you feel like it's draining. It is a lot going on, especially for a lot of us empaths. Um, but I mean, the light needs to be shown for us to learn these lessons and to move into a better future where there is more rules and regulations. So all of this corruption that's been going on um, can be stopped or minimalized. Oh, and that's a good point too. Dubsy says if Putin gets military assistance from Kim, I'm betting the equipment is older than Putin. Yeah, and um, not in advanced either, like with the technology. So, Joy, I heard about this too. She wants to know, did the recent wildfires in Hawaii have anything to do with celebs or politics? I heard about homes being painted blue. I heard that too, and for me, it just felt like it was a major conspiracy theory. So, I don't feel like the fires were intentional. I do feel I do feel like they're from those power lines and all those heavy winds, and I believe it was Maui's fire season already. So I think they were saying that they were taking lasers to start fires and keeping the blue houses safe. That isn't true. I'm not picking that up at all. All right. Yes. Get your news from the YouTube psychics. Thank you, Sacred Hag. All right. Let me see. Let's see if I have one more question to end on. I didn't read on this, but Laura wants to know, is Jimmy Fallon's career going to survive the hostile work environment complaints? Will he lose his shows? Let's take a look at that. So we'll end here, you guys, with this question. And like I said, Thursday night I should be on Mel's channel. So if I missed your question today, make sure to stop by then and come hang out with us for a little bit. Send your questions then. You know, I do feel like there is some truth to the hostile work environments. I do feel that, you know, it's interesting because, you know, just kind of like tapping into Jimmy Fallon's energy. I don't get that he's like a bully or, but I do feel like there is some truth to the victims here. I don't pick up that Jimmy's a bad guy. I do get that he puts a lot of his time and energy into it, so sometimes he stresses himself out a little bit, even though he's very like laid back and cool on TV. He can be a bit of a perfectionist, is what I'm feeling. So, so I think that kind of plays into, you know, maybe not being the most nice all the time. But I do feel like his career is going to survive this. I'll throw some cards on it, Laura, but he's just a Trump. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily pick up a drunk either. They say that he doesn't drink, but I do get eventually. It doesn't feel like it's right now, but I do feel like some of these complaints are going to continue, and there may be a point where he decides to kind of walk away from it. You know, a bit of a turning point here. It feels like there's some victories and then there's some defeats with this too. So maybe getting past some of the scandals or complaints, and then more kind of coming out. I do feel like there is definitely, you know, I have the moon and the high priestess here. So there is some things that are definitely trying to be pushed under the rug, you know, kept quiet. But I mean, ultimately I get justice here, you know, kind of moving forward quickly. So continued news coming out, a bit of like kind of going within and reevaluating things. I do get ultimately their success and celebration here, but it, like I said, it feels like it's kind of slow movement. Like we get some big news and then it's kind of squashed, and then I think there's a bit of a celebration, and then later it feels like he decides to step down. Yeah, I could see him being a little bit moody, especially with, like I said, a bit of a perfectionist and wanting everything to run smoothly. I don't know what the complaints were, if it was just, you know, if he was abusive. I don't know. I feel like there are some things there, but I do feel like some things are a bit of an exaggeration too. Not to, you never want to go up against victims or people that have experienced some stuff. But then again, too, some people do like attention there. So I feel like there's something there, um, and continued attacks. But I think he's going to be okay for a little while and then decide to step down. Is what I'm getting. Yeah, definitely perfectionist and critical. I agree, Ellen. All right, you guys. Well, I had a fun time hanging out with you today. Please do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. When I get to 9,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away a free reading and Reiki session. So help me get to that goal. We'll do a giveaway here soon. Again, I should be on Mel's channel this Thursday night. I will let you all know when that is confirmed, but that's the plan. And if anybody's interested in a reading or a Reiki session, you can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. I have that information in the description box if you want to inquire about rates or what I offer, or if you'd like to set something up, we can absolutely do that as well, okay? All right, everyone, I'm sending you a lot of love and good wishes, and I will see you all real soon. Take care. All right, bye-bye, everyone.